So I'm going to tell you guys how I almost lost my business because I was reliant on one guy way too much. I had all my eggs in one basket, and my business really took a hit as a result. Fortunately, I was able to bounce back, and I was able to go after that guy, and I was able to crush him into submission. But not really physically, just from a financial standpoint. And today we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, check this out. If you're looking to start a pressure washing business, but you're not sure what chemicals to use, how to mix them, or how to clean every surface on a residential job site, the equipment you need, and how to use it properly, safely, and profitably, check out How to Wash, the #1 selling pressure washing training in the world. It will be the first link in the comment section and the description. Okay, so the way that this all transpired was way long ago in a galaxy far, far away. This was about 21 years ago. I purchased a very small pressure washing business from this gentleman, and where he was keeping his equipment was at a contractor's yard, and it was an actual contractor. And this guy was heavily embedded in the apartment community world in Savannah, where we do most of our business. And like I had mentioned before in other videos, right around 2009, we were really feeling the impact of the Great Recession, and we had shifted from mostly restaurant and commercial flat work over to residential and really started focusing on that segment of the market. So during that time, as we were building up that residential clientele, the guy that owned the yard where we were keeping all our stuff at had approached me to see if we would be interested in doing some subcontracting work for him because he had a falling out with his current pressure washer. Now, I understand that shit happened, so I didn't ask a whole lot of questions, and I definitely wanted that type of work because I knew it was going to help us fill up the calendar throughout the year. And like I said, he had some very strong relationships with these apartment communities, and he actually had carved out a really nice niche for himself. He was a smart guy. He had been very successful, nice house, nice cars, and he had positioned himself as the go-to guy for every property manager at almost all the properties around town. When a resident moved out, the property manager is responsible for getting that unit back up to par so they could rent it out again. So if they needed something painted, they would call this guy and he would send out one of his subcontractors that did painting. If they had drywall work needing done, he would send out a drywall guy. Carpet cleaning, carpet installation, tile, plumbing, and of course, pressure washing. So I was very familiar with flat work pricing. Getting more up to speed on how to quote residential jobs, really wishing that I had quote IQ back in the day, but I was not really sure on how to quote these huge apartment complexes. The good news, and as it turns out, the bad news was this guy was more than willing to tell me what I needed to quote him so he could quote them so he could get the job, which gave us the opportunity to get the job as well. Now, these were pretty big numbers. I'm talking $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 jobs. And yeah, he would put a percentage on as he had the right to. He had the relationships. He was getting the jobs and things were going well. We did this for about 2 years until one day he told me that I needed to find somewhere else to keep our equipment because he needed that space for his own pressure washing trailers. And he also let me know that he was no longer going to be needing us to do any work for any of his apartment communities. Again, this is business, probably a wise choice on his part, unless you're dealing with somebody like me who is really enjoying all of these apartment jobs and someone who can be a little vindictive, and also someone who has been building relationships with these property managers, the maintenance guys. So as soon as I got the call from him, I went through and called every single apartment manager that I knew, every single maintenance person that I knew. And then I went and I followed up with them in person, letting them know that we would be more than willing to quote their jobs when they were ready. They knew me. They knew that we had done absolutely phenomenal work. We eliminated headaches, so they didn't have to deal with angry residents or any kind of issues that arose. I made sure that we went above and beyond every single time because I wanted to continue to service these properties. And when you do a good job, when you make life easy for the property managers, they're going to enjoy doing business with you because you're preventing headaches for them. And thank God I ran my business like that. Thank God they noticed and appreciated that, because one of the property managers that I went to visit had said that they were actually doing the budget for next year right now, and they just gotten the other guy's quote and wanted to know what we would quote. So I worked up a number, I sent it over, and she called asking if I had made a mistake. Now, I knew my price was good. I was significantly higher than it had been the previous year. So I thought maybe I had overpriced because I was taking into account the fact that I knew he was putting a percentage on. So I added an additional 15% on top of what I had quoted that guy last year. Now, she told me that I was almost half the price that he had quoted, half the price. This guy was taking my number and doubling it. And he had been for years. And kudos to him. He got me good. He got them good. He made a ton of money off of us. And now I had the ammo I needed to go back to every single complex and requote every single job based on this new information. So instead of the 15%, I was now at 25%. Still a hell of a lot cheaper than he was, but significantly more than I was making working for him. And I was happy with the money we were making working for him. So that's a huge win. So I called her back, told her that my number was 100% accurate and I stand behind the number, and they can still expect the same results, the same level of service and quality that they had gotten from our company in the past. Just a hell of a lot cheaper. Now, I didn't throw him under the bus. I didn't point out the fact that he'd been taking advantage of them for years with the pressure washing, which also led me to believe that he was doing that with every one of his subcontractors, right? They were able to figure all that out on their own. And believe me, word travels fast. It's a very small, tight-knit community, and everybody belongs to the same apartment organization. And his reputation was seriously damaged. His business suffered as a result. Now, I can honestly say I have never seen any of his pressure washing trailers on the street, which doesn't mean that he's not using them. I bet his driveway is really clean, though. But the bottom line is I was very happy working for this guy. We were making a lot of money working for this guy. My profit margins were really good working for this guy, but he got greedy. And he showed me his hand, and I took advantage of it, and I gained a significant portion of the business that he used to have. This particular scenario could have ended really poorly for me. It could have been way worse if I was not as proactive as I was, if I wasn't running the business like I had, if I hadn't built the relationships with the property managers and the maintenance guys. But I did have a lot of my eggs in one basket, and that could have been devastating for my business if I had just rolled over. But I think the major takeaway here is don't have all your eggs in one basket. It's good to trust people, but also understand that most people are only out for themselves and only need you for as long as you're useful to them. So keep your eyes open, keep your eyes on the prize. So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the little story. So please go check out How to Wash. It's everything that you need to shortcut your learning curve, hit the ground running. There is a link for that down below, as well as links for 𝗤𝘂cie𝗁𝗤. It is on the Apple, it is on the Google Play Store. We have teamed up with the Window Cleaning Resource to give away a window cleaning business starter kit. So if you are thinking about adding a new service to your current business, or you want to start an entirely new business, we have put together something that will help you make that happen. Anyway, all the information on that is below. You got to be a premium or platinum subscriber of 𝗤𝘂cie𝗁𝗤 in order to win. If you are, you're already entered. If not, go download it today. Thanks for watching. Bye.